Hey lovely ladies, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Aisha. I'm a certified trauma-informed coach and manifestation guide, and today's video is going to be all about being. What we mean by assuming the state of being when we talk about identity and how we are choosing to move through this life from that identity. This is also covering the topic of self-concept, as self-concept really just means our concept, our idea of ourselves. This includes our image, our outward appearance, how we feel in certain interactions, our confidence levels in different areas of our life. So I have an acronym for you today. It is a very useful, very simple to understand acronym that will help you remember how to form your identity, how to step into a new state of being, how to focus on being who you want to be, and really take an all-encompassing grasp on your life so that you are consciously making decisions day in, day out to be the new version of yourself. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the button in the corner and tap the bell icon to be notified when I upload. I do also have community posts. There is one for next month, which is actually my 1-year channel anniversary video that I will be doing, and so far we have quite a few votes on the poll leaning in one direction, so I would love it if you would participate in that. It is my way of creating engagement for you so that you feel as though my content is curated towards what you're most interested in, and gives you a little bit of feedback on, I suppose, like the topics that I am more likely to cover on my channel. So the things that are more likely to be voted, the things that are often getting selected, those are topics I'm going to create more and more content about. And not only that, it also helps me to build out products and services for you to tailor to your needs. Obviously, as a coach, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you in the best way possible. I'm here to inspire you with my own story, my own successes, and create an environment where you can thrive and be your successful and most confident self. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. And I have actually written this down for you. I don't know if it's gonna be backwards. I'm gonna have to make sure when I upload this, it is not mirrored. But basically here, I have the acronym TFARI, which is like Tafari. I don't know how you wanna say it. But essentially, this is human behavior in a nutshell. This is identity in a nutshell. This is how we build our identities. This is how we build our self-concept. This is the most simple breakdown that I could, reform and come up with. So I didn't come up with TFAR. TFAR is something from behavioral science. Excuse me. But I added the I because I think a lot of times we talk about identity and we talk about self-concept and beingness, especially in the manifestation world, especially in the law of assumption communities, and it gets sort of lost. It gets sort of convoluted by all the different techniques and methods and principles of manifestation. And ultimately, manifestation is just psychology. It is a matter of understanding who you are and what you want and making a process to get there and taking the necessary steps to get there and reforming how you see yourself and how you talk to yourself and how you feel towards yourself to make it easier to get there. So manifestation is really not as woo-woo as people want to believe it is. Obviously, as a religious person, as someone who believes in a higher power and believes in a greater consciousness that exists beyond my one singular human perspective, I have my own understanding of how prayers are answered and how our concept of self and our free will shapes our reality. But you're free to interpret this however you'd like, and if my channel content is not for you, that is totally fine with me. You're welcome to go watch anybody else. It is your, you have free will, it's your choice. So if you are gonna stick around, I really appreciate it. And let me break this acronym down for you. So T stands for your thoughts, F stands for your feelings, A stands for your actions, R stands for your results, and I stands for your identity. And what you'll find is this is actually a looping acronym, so it will be TFARI, TFARI, TFARI. You're always constantly thinking, then feeling, then acting, then getting results, and those results inform your identity, and then you go back to thinking because you think based on your identity. So if you identify as someone who is struggling, your thoughts will be that of someone who is struggling. If you identify as someone who is confident, your thoughts will be that of someone who is confident. So it loops and loops and loops and loops, and you are constantly generating a new version of yourself through this process. So your thoughts, what you think day in and day out, they dictate your feelings. They tell your feelings how to be, how to exist, how to come up. And the way that you'll know this is you can think a thought and not feel a feeling because of it. And you can think another thought and all of a sudden your feelings are there. It's because your feelings are in response to that thought. So you can think a completely neutral thought. A completely neutral thought is, this is a glass of lemon water. A completely neutral thought is, this glass is, the temperature of the liquid is cold, right? Those are neutral thoughts. They're not going to bring any emotion in me. However, let's say I was like stranded somewhere really hot and I was like extremely thirsty, extremely dehydrated, and I had a thought of, this is my last cup of water. Like that might make me feel really like scarce. That might make me feel really panicky. That might give me anxiety, because if I'm like thirsty and I'm dehydrated and there's no water to be found and this is my last source of water, that might instill an emotion in me of panic, of maybe even grief or sorrow, or like feeling hopelessness, because that's my last glass of water and I know that I need water to survive. That thought can trigger those panicked emotions. Whereas me sitting here knowing, even if I had that thought, oh, this is my last cup of lemon water, it's not my last beverage. It's not the last cup of water I have access to. So I don't have any feelings, positive or negative, towards that. So your thoughts dictate your feelings. And dictate, the word dictate means they tell them what to do. So your thoughts tell your feelings how to feel. It seems like our feelings are dictating our thoughts, but that's actually not the case. What happens is our thoughts ping pong back with our feelings, back and forth, but ultimately every feeling has to have a thought first. I have to think of something sad, like an injured puppy on the side of the road, in order to feel sadness. I have to think of something happy, like my partner getting a promotion and getting success in his job, and then I'll feel happy. So I have to think the thought first. You have to think your thought before you feel a feeling. So your thoughts dictate your feelings, and then your feelings inspire your actions. So when I started this manifestation journey, when I started this channel, my biggest goal was weight loss. My biggest goal was not weight loss for the sake of seeing my body change or it being different on the scale, but just I wanted to know that I could do it, because this is something I struggled with when I was younger. I would gain weight, lose weight, always in unhealthy ways. If I lost weight, it was in an unhealthy way. And if I gained weight, it was in an unhealthy way. And so I wanted to put an end to that identity as an unhealthy person. I wanted to embody the state of, I am a healthy person, and I do what healthy people do, and I think what healthy people think, and I feel how healthy people feel, and I get the results that healthy people get, and I identify through and through as a healthy person. So this is the method I use to make that manifestation come about, because I felt despair, because I felt anger towards myself of like, why am I still failing myself? Why do I keep starting this diet and then quitting, and then going to the gym and then quitting, and starting this new workout program, diet program, and then quitting? And why do I keep quitting on myself? Why do I keep having this cycle of I'm going and I'm going and I'm going and I'm seeing progress and results, and then one day I just give up on myself out of nowhere? I was so fed up. I was emotionally I wasn't just drained, I was pissed, to be honest. I was so mad at myself for letting myself down. I was really disappointed in myself. So those feelings of disappointment inspired my actions. They inspired me to go to the gym and say, you know what? I don't care if this is the workout that works or if it's the next workout that works. I don't care if it's going to the gym or taking a dance class or taking yoga or taking Pilates or working out at home. I don't care if it's just walking. I don't care if it's, going back to being vegetarian, or if it's trying keto again, or if it's doing the Mediterranean diet, or, the AIP diet, which is like an autoimmune protocol. Like, I don't care what exercise routine and I don't care what diet, I'm gonna lose the weight. It was once I decided to take actions that helped me believe it was possible. So it's not about the actions you take as long as you believe whatever actions you're taking are working for you. And one great example of this is like, if studying equaled success in getting a good grade and getting an A, ideally everybody wants to get an A. That's kind of how we're trained in school. A plus, 100%, whatever. However they do the school marks in your country. But everybody wants to get high marks. Everyone wants to get a good grade. If studying automatically made you have a good grade, everybody would do it. Everybody would, right? It's a simple thing. And not only that, everybody who does study would always get a good grade. But guess what? There were many times that I studied and I still got a B or a C. There were so many times that I didn't study and magically I got an A or a B. And really, like, of course we can get into the nitpicking of, oh, maybe I was just really good at math growing up, or maybe, I just wasn't as good at history and that's why I didn't get a good grade in that. And sure, those assumptions do affect us. Obviously, like, I had always been good at math and English. I had been fairly good at science. History was not one of my strong suits. So that was an assumption I had about myself, which meant no matter how hard I'm studying, I'm gonna reflect that in my reality. And even if I don't study, I'm still gonna get an A on my math test because I'm just good at math. That was my identity. But what I am expressing here in this moment to you is that the energy behind the action you're taking, again, those feelings are going to inspire those actions. So if you are feeling desperate and then you take action, that desperate feeling is going to ripple through that action, and the result you're going to get is a result that matches that desperate energy. Whereas if you take action from a feeling of inspiration and motivation and confidence, and you feel alive and you feel like, I can do this, I'm so excited, I'm so motivated, of course I'm going to do it, then that creates an energy through your action that manifests a confident and positive outcome. So knowing that your feelings inspire your actions and they're enmeshed together, you should be less worried about how you're choosing your actions. Of course, there's some actions that we don't want to take in life. That's logical. Not talking about that, but I'm talking about, let's say you really want to get a certain job. The energy you put into that application, the energy you put into your resume, the energy you put into going to that interview is going to determine whether they hire you or not. And so if you're feeling like, I don't really want this job. I mean, the money's good, but I'm not that interested in it. You're going to put out that energy of, I'm not that interested in it. And even though your resume could be stellar, it could be perfect, it could be the best resume ever made, it could be really beautifully designed, it won't matter because your energy that you're putting forth is one of, I don't really want this. Whereas your resume could be kind of like thrown together. You could have really poor interview skills and be really nervous feeling in the interview, but you get home and you're like, oh, of course they're going to hire me. Then that's the result you're going to get. And that moves us into your actions determine your results. And so all of that I just spoke on about your actions, it's not just the what you do, it's how you do it. It's not the actions you take, it's how you take the actions. So your actions are going to determine your results. Again, if you're putting forth the effort and energy to take an action, and this action can be as small as doing an affirmation or scripting, and it can be as big as actually packing up your things and moving to a new home, and moving to a new city or a new country even. You know, there's small action and there's big action. It doesn't matter. None of that really matters. What matters is how you view the action you're taking, because how you view the action you're taking, how you feel about the action you're taking, is ultimately what is determining the results you will gain from said action. So if you want a certain result, don't focus on what you need to do. You will find yourself inspired to do something. When I started my YouTube channel for my old business, I started it with a 30-day walking challenge, because that business was a lot about mind-body connection. It was a lot about like physical, mental, spiritual health, which this business is too, but I do it through a different lens. And so that version of me, she needed that 30-day walking challenge to build the confidence to show myself on YouTube every day. She needed that accountability to believe that her business could be successful, right? So the way that I took that action when I was that version of myself is, this challenge is working for me. This challenge is making me more confident. This challenge is making me a healthier person. And because of that, at the end of those 30 days, I felt so motivated to stick with my health journey. I felt so empowered in my business. I felt so proud of myself and inspired. And because those were the results of my actions, right? Those were the immediate results of choosing to do a 30-day challenge. I immediately felt more confident, more motivated. I had created this momentum that now that I've started, I can't stop. I'm not going to let myself stop. I'm not going to let myself quit on my health journey again. I'm not going to let myself quit on my business again. I really invested all of my faith, all of my hope, all of my belief into those results. And because of that, it worked out for me. And so finally we are to the identity part, which is your results inform your identity, okay? Your results inform your identity. What does this mean? This means that because I was able to create those results for myself, because I was able to hold myself accountable for 30 days, because I was able to prove to myself that I can do what I say I'm gonna do, and I can show up for myself, and I can have faith in myself, and I can take the actions that I feel inspired to take, and I can generate good feelings. And within 30 days, okay, we have a lot of highs and lows that happen in a 30-day period. And especially as women who have a cycle of hormonal changes within 30 days, 30 days can be a ton of highs and lows. It can really challenge our self-concept. You know, I know some of you watching struggle with like premenstrual emotional changes, or, you know, challenges that, you know, are caused by your hormones. Navigating that can be difficult. So showing up for yourself for 30 days is not going to be easy. It's not going to feel easy all the time, okay? I don't want to manifest that it's not going to be easy, because some 30-day challenges are easier than others. Some 30-day time frames are easier to navigate than others, right? But the point is, we all know life has its ups and downs, and it's how we handle those ups and downs that really determine our identities. So again, your results are informing your identity. What does this mean? When we get the things that we aspire to get, that gives us confidence in our ability. So if I, in math class, get an A, that informs my identity that I am someone who gets A's in math. I am someone who aces my math tests. I am someone who is just really naturally good at math. I'm someone who enjoys math. I'm someone who succeeds in math class. Those are all just affirmations related to how I felt growing up being good at math, and having this constant proof, this constant evidence, these results coming to me that eventually continued to perpetuate a cycle where it became easy to believe I was good at math, right? And this is what I mean when I said in the beginning of this video that this is a looping acronym. So not only do your results inform your identity, but guess what? Your identity controls your thoughts. Your identity controls your thoughts, okay? You are thinking from the version of yourself that you are today. You are thinking through the lens of the self-concept you hold towards yourself today. You are thinking from the place of your beliefs and assumptions as the version of you are today. So when we talk about being a new version of self, when we talk about changing your self-concept, when we talk about shifting your identity, this is the formula. This is the process. This is the secret. This is human behavior. This is psychology. This is the way that human beings are wired, and you cannot argue this. You cannot, I guarantee you talk to any human being about any struggle they've ever had, and when they reflect on it, this is the process of how it happened. And they might not remember it as smoothly as this procedure is written, but even in your own reflection, I want you to go back and give yourself at least 3 examples. This is going to be your homework today. After you watch this video, to write down 3 examples of when you've done this, and go ahead and write down each example. Write down what you thought of, how it made you feel, then what you did based on how you felt, then the results that you got, whether they were good or bad results based on the actions you took, and then what that experience, those results you got, how that made you feel as a person. Okay, so I want you, go ahead and I'm gonna put this closer. I want you to screenshot this, okay? Screenshot it and save this to reflect on. Save this when you are feeling like your thoughts and your emotions are out of control, when you're stressing about the circumstances or you're wondering what actions to take. I want you to come back to this method, come back to this process, and go through line by line the strategy of what you want to do to become who you want to be. And in doing so, like, reflect on how many times this process has worked for you. And it will help you to build confidence. It will help you to know that whatever circumstance comes up, it's gonna make you feel it's gonna make you think certain things. Okay? That's the first thing, is we have these circumstances come up and our thoughts and beliefs and assumptions come up and we're like, okay, now I have to deal with this. Well, this is the process to deal with it. This is the process to make sure how you deal with it is in alignment with who you say you're being. So I know that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, you're welcome to leave them down in the comments below. If you like this video, drop a like. And I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you're notified when I do drop these lessons. Today's lesson was kind of long-winded, but it is a very, very crucial, important, unavoidable lesson. If you do not understand this, you do not understand manifestation. And if you think manifestation is anything but this, you've been watching people who don't know what they're talking about. So I'm so happy that you found this channel. I'm happy that I was able to share this information with you, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.